When you were first beginning, I had so much going on. I felt like the little girl in the car that you were describing, with all of the chaos around her, thinking, I know who I am. I know the empire that I have inside of me. I feel the life of my dream, and there's so much chaos around me. And I really want to thank you, because I am feeling myself today moving up and coming more and more into alignment with my dream, and more into alignment with my knowing. And
before you go further, if you don't mind, we would like to have everyone benefit from the very good words that you've offered here, because we just want to speak something that feels so obvious to us, and we want you to feel how obvious it doesn't or does feel to you, and then we want you to want it to be obvious to you too. And that is, it's such a simple thing. My life caused me to want this, and here I am, and all I have to do is go there. It's so simple. Well, what is over there? What's it like over there? What would it feel like over there? What does this feel like? Well, I can describe it. It feels fun. It feels fulfilling. It feels satisfying. It feels stimulating. That's all there is. It's just, here's where I want to be, and here's where I am. That's it. So what complicates it? What causes there to be more than these two vibrational points of relativity? How did it get complicated? Jerry and Esther had an interesting experience, because with this new book, the publisher of the book called them and said, you know, the first book missed the New York Times bestseller list by fewer books than you sold through your warehouse. So what do you think about sending out an email announcement, just asking people to buy the book from Amazon or from one of the distributors that is counted? And Jerry and Esther looked at each other and they said, we've never asked anybody to do anything. We've just allowed it to be. But this publisher said, oh, it will be very beneficial, because once that happens, then you're on a different list, and then bookstores that usually don't even handle your book want it, and it just makes the distribution process simpler once you are on that list. And so Jerry and Esther said, all right. And then they sort of got caught up in the fun of it. It was fun to be number one at Amazon for a little bit. And it was fun to be, of all of the books in the world, there was a list of 150 of all books, fiction, nonfiction, hardback, softcover, all of the books. And they were 145 of all of the books in the world. And it was sort of fun watching those lists. And then Esther found herself getting up in the morning and clicking on that link to see where they were on the list. And then she started noticing when they weren't number one on the list, who was number one on the list. And then one day, Jerry said to us as they were driving, Abraham, why aren't we feeling so good? And we said, because you have left competition and the feeling of competition behind you long ago. You have established your relationship between who you are and what you want. And anything that happens around that is just fine. You've allowed law of attraction to do its work, but you haven't tried to consider your work in relationship to that work. That has not been what you've done. And so you have introduced chaos into your vibration. And as soon as they heard it, they both began to laugh, because of course that's what it was. And it isn't that they felt competitive. They are wishing everyone well who is having the experience. They are not wanting to get the number one spot and hold it for themselves. It wasn't that at all. It was the simple thing of trying to introduce into their vibration. In other words, when they consider their book, and they think about their book, and they think about how it felt for the book to flow, and they think about someone reading the book and someone benefiting from the book, everything's in perfect alignment with them. But when they think about their book in relationship to that book, and that book, and that book, and that book, now they're introducing all of that vibration into what was a clear space, and now it is no longer a clear space. That's what introduces chaos. It's putting your nose in other people's business, you see. When all you're thinking about is the relationship between where I am and where I want to be, it is such a clear distance. Everything that everyone wants, no matter what it is, you want it because you think you would feel better. And do you know what feeling better is? Feeling better is alignment. Feeling better is being lined up with you, period. It isn't about anything else. It's not about somebody else doing something. It's not about somebody else thinking something. It isn't about how many books you sell or how well your music is received or how many people buy your products from your business. It isn't about anything except my energy and the relationship of my energy to my energy, over which I have absolute control. So in a day, you can think about how I want to feel and what my dream is and where I am in relationship to it. And you can talk and 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 talk with one intention, one simple intention of finding that vibe that feels good to you. Or you can watch television and you can think about what everybody else is doing, and you can watch all the other lists, and you can listen to what's happening in all the other countries. You can listen to people making decisions about things that you have no say, and you can debate over the rightness and the wrongness of their decisions. And then you can remember what your mother said about this, and you can compare your child rearing skills with your mother's child rearing skills. And then you can remember how she argued with her sister about how to raise children, and then you can think about your friend and how your friend raises her children, and then you can think about those people and those people and those people in other countries, and pretty soon you've got chaos in your vibration. And you know what? You deserve it. Where when you say, hey, I have the ability to focus on a myriad of things, and some of them feel good when I do and some of them don't. Let me see, just through trial and error, which ones feel good. Esther will lie in her bed sometimes and think about something that's going on with her mother, and she can just feel a sort of knot welling up within her because there are things that are outside of her control. And then she's got a choice. She can stay there and focus upon those things that are outside of her control, or she can focus upon something that is within her control. And the knot goes away, you see. It's just a matter of caring how you feel, and then just practice thinking. Practice thinking. Practice thinking with your newfound knowledge that how I feel matters.
I'm doing it so much better than I ever have. And I lived alone for a lot of years, and I was much better at it then. So
no, you weren't.
Well,
we love you, but...
Yeah. No, tell me. Give it to me.
You weren't so much better at it, you just had less to try to manage.
Yeah.
In other words, when you're all alone, there's not nearly as many people to bug you.
Yeah.
But then you must become a hermit to be happy.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No.
And in time, you won't even like yourself.
Yeah.
In other words, that never works. It's so much better to stabilize and look for things that feel good wherever you are, and then you can go anywhere and feel good.
I want that. And I love the richness in my life, and I love all of the people, and I love the variety. And most of the time I really am just devouring it and finding so many wonderful things about it.
We want to go back to this chaos thing because we know how uncomfortable that feels. And we want you to realize that anytime you give your attention to anything, your attention to it activates the vibration of it within you. And a feeling of being scattered or confused, that chaotic feeling, is about focusing upon lots of different things, and usually contradictory things, so that they're all activated within you, so that you're running around on the brink of things being activated depending upon what your environment brings to you. And that makes you feel like you want to hide from people. It makes you feel like you want to close yourself off from them. Where when you show yourself by practicing when it's comfortable to do so, and that it usually begins when you're by yourself, as you practice choosing thoughts that feel good, and you use your willpower to focus upon them because they feel good, what happens is, in a very short period of time, you deactivate, by virtue of activating these things, you deactivate those things, so that law of attraction must give you more of those kinds of things. So then your life becomes one of greater harmonics instead of disharmonics. You don't want to be single-minded, because we like the word you used. You like the richness and fullness of the variety of your experience. But you can have richness in harmony, or you can have richness or variety in disharmony or discord. So it's all about my newfound determination to focus with the intention of generating a feeling that feels good to me while I do it. That really is the key to what we call in this workshop art of allowing. The art of allowing all of the wonderful things in that want in by virtue of my releasing resistance, which is the only thing that's been keeping them out. There are two things that we would encourage you to do in terms of action. Sit every day for 15 minutes with the intention of filling your body full of air. Breathe, 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 breathe. Just breathe. That's your assignment. 15 minutes of breathing. 15 minutes of in and out, and appreciation for this delicious oxygen. In and out, in and out, in and out. Just breathing, 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 breathing. If you would just do that, your chaotic world would smooth right out. It would. Just by focusing on breathing for 15 minutes every day. 15 minutes of breathing, really breathing. Breathing with the idea of filling my body, filling my lungs so that my lungs can transport the oxygen and all of its life-giving qualities to the extremities of my body. Breathing. If you're running, if you're moving your body, you're doing it automatically. But breathe, 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 breathe. It is the exercise of allowing above all other exercises of allowing. In other words, the air is there for you. The well-being is there for you. Source energy has lined everything up for you. Just breathe yourself into receiving the fullness and no chaos there. Just breathe. Just breathe. It is the most natural thing in the world. You are worthy and loved and brilliant, and your life has caused you to launch so many rockets that are right there, ready to come into fruition. Just breathe them into being. And then after you breathe for 15 minutes every day for a while, then use that time to breathe and love me. Breathe and love me. Breathe and love the air. Breathe and love my body. Breathe and love my nose. Breathe and love my lungs. Breathe and love my physical mechanism. Just breathe and love and breathe and love and breathe and love and breathe and love. And after you've done that for a few days, then breathe and love that one over there, and breathe and love that one over there, and breathe and love and breathe and love. And before you know it, that chaos, which is only because of too many activated things within you, lines right up to this perfect picture that you've been accumulating over many, many years, that source energy has already become. And then suddenly you begin noticing that who you have become in terms of non-physical energy, you just begin becoming in terms of manifestation. You just become it. And when people say, how did you do it? Was it hard? You say, it was as easy as breathing, really.
Thank you so much. I do a lot of massage, and I love to do it. And I get a lot of different people, again, a lot of variety. And I think one reason why I've been so chaotic is even though I'm really focused the whole time, I still am, like my nervous system is still taking it in, and I spend a lot of time just seeking for that balance. And so I really appreciate the breathing. While I'm in the massage, doing the massage, can you help me with something to focus, where to focus?
Well, we're appreciating the wisdom in the way you presented this, because if you will take time to breathe yourself into alignment before your first encounter in a day, you'll find that you won't be trying so hard. What's happening to you is you're very sensitive to energy, and so you get yourself lined up, and then you introduce yourself in really full fashion to what's going on with someone else. And as you do that, instead of bringing them up to your vibration, you're sort of meeting them at their vibration, and then recognizing it, because you can tell by the way you feel as you don't feel the energy in the way you're accustomed to, and you even find yourself feeling physical fatigue as a result of it. And so what you're wanting to do is to do your work before you do the massage, because once you get into it, it's too late.
Yeah, okay.
Unless they're really tuned in which case they'll take you for a very good ride. So you could put a shingle out that says, only come to me when you're at your best.
Right.
But most of them don't think that's when they need you.
Right.
They want to come to you so that you can help them find their best, you see. And so you might want to integrate some of that breathing into your preliminary massage work with them. In other words, let them know that you're going to help them without even touching them for a little while, massage from the inside out, and then just sit for 2 or 3 minutes and deep breathe with them, just to sort of relax them and relax you. It can make a world of difference as you begin the work, you see.